find out the secret and see why people everywhere are talking about it. Okay, author Lisa Nichols, a member of our secret panel, says that for years before discovering the secret, her life was spiraling out of control.
Her agenda is clear, and it's clear because she tells you what she's going to do. Completely disarming.
How do I want to feel? What energy do I want to give off? What energy do I want to draw back to me?
We now welcome Lisa Nichols, a motivational speaker, advocate of personal empowerment. She's a teacher of The Secret, the Law of Attraction.
I'm living in my passion.
You know, we look at better as if something's wrong with now.
Yeah.
You know,
I was just saying that to a friend last night. You need to relax and be
in
with
now.
it.
Be with it now.
Yeah.
You can't just believe it. You can't just sit back and think it's going to happen. You have to get up and do.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the SueHams show. And as always, we have electrifying, dynamic guests. And my goodness, today I have one of my sheroes, the great Miss Lisa Nichols. How are you doing, Miss Nichols?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here with you.
Thank you. You know, I got to tell you something. Before we got you on, my 8-year-old son, Jackson, and I, we've been watching you on YouTube. We have your book. We've been watching you on The Secret, watching you on Steve Harvey. And I said to my son, I want to interview her. And he's like, you're going to do it. And I'm telling you, it's funny because I kept visualizing it. And then you kept popping into my news feed on Facebook. And I said, well, the only way to do it is to reach out. And when they said yes, my son and I about hit the floor. So you got to please say hi, Jackson, for me so that when he watches this interview, he'll know that I did mention him.
Yes. Hey, Jackson, I'm so excited. You remind me of my son, Jelani, and I. When I was dreaming and planning my life, my son, Jelani, was one of my biggest supports and cheerleaders. So, Jackson, keep doing what you're doing. You're going to do great things and watch Mommy do great things.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, we know you today as a motivational speaker that's touched millions around the world, a transformational coach, a mother. We know you how much you love your son, Jelani, your mother, and your grandmother. We also know you as a 7-time best author, a coach to the stars like Steve Harvey. You've also been on Oprah, to the Today Show, the Steve Harvey Show, so many other shows. We could go on and on and on and on and on. You also are one of the, I want to make sure I get this right because this blew me away. You also own and operate a publicly traded company. Is that correct?
I do.
Now, Lisa, here's the thing. When people hear all these great things about Lisa, they're like, oh, I want to get there. I aspire to be like Lisa. But what I like to do, and the reason I do these interviews is because I like to give the backstory. Because a lot of times people will see where you are and they want to be there, but they're a little bit intimidated because they don't understand the process or the journey. So at this time, I'm going to ask you to share a little bit of your backstory.
Sure. You know, everything you said is true. I'm grateful for all of it. I don't take any of it for granted. But also, I am a struggling student. For many years, I was a struggling student in school. My highest grade was a C+.
Wow.
I struggled in academia. I found out in my 20s that I primarily struggled because I'm dyslexic, and I didn't know I was dyslexic. So I'm functionally dyslexic. I teach better because I have to learn so thoroughly, and so I teach thoroughly. I'm a woman who decided in about 1997, after a series of challenges, that I needed to be my own rescue. That the feeling of being broke and broken at the same time did not work for me. So I began to seek and search new ways of thinking, because I understood that my physical, emotional, and financial zip code was based on my mental zip code. So where I lived physically, where I lived financially, where I lived emotionally, whatever that looked like, was a result of where my mindset was. I knew that much. I didn't quite know how I got there, but I knew I got there because of the way I was thinking. I knew that much. And so I began in 1998, 99 to really feed myself a new way of thinking. I want to know what I don't know. I just want to know what I don't know.
That's powerful.
I don't even know what I don't know, so I want to know what I don't know. So I began to read books, and the crazy thing was I read books that I didn't understand, and I would read them 3 and 4 times, and I highlight them, and I wasn't a big reader. I wasn't a big reader, so I didn't grow up loving reading. It was challenging for me because of my dyslexia. But I would read a book, and Sue, I would understand about 33% of the book. I could read the whole book, but I'd only comprehend about 33% of the book. But I would implement 100% of the 33%.
Come on now.
Right. So I realized that I don't have to get it all. I just got to do something with what I got.
That's right.
And so my biggest strength and my biggest game changer in my life was that I would learn, then apply, learn, then apply, learn, then apply. So I'm a big applied learner. And action, Joan Baez says, action is the antidote for despair. My coach told me that years ago, and she would always say it. And I realized, wait a minute, hold on. Anything that I don't like in my life, anything that I want to shift in my life, if I give it action, it has to shift, because energy grows where energy goes. If I want something to have more energy, give me more good energy out of it, I need to put more energy into it. And so I am the little engine that could. I am that little girl, I'm that little boy that you never saw them coming. They were that C average student that didn't quite show up on the Richter scale anywhere, but they just wouldn't stop. It's like that Rocky movie, Rocky 19, where you know Rocky's going to get beat up, you know he's going to be on the floor of the ring, you know he's going to be bloody, and then we all know he's going to get up.
That's it.
Which is why we watch it again and again and again. And it's the hero's journey. I think why people love me is everyone loves the hero's journey. And I'm not saying I'm a hero or a shero, but I am saying I'm the little engine that could, that no one thought could do it. I didn't even think I could do it. I didn't go fast. Right. I just kept going. Right. I didn't go fast. I wasn't the fastest kid on the block. I wasn't the smartest kid on the block. But when everyone else went to sleep, I was still going.
Gotcha. But, well, let me say this. You're my shero, so I'll say it. I'll say it. Now, I remember reading about and listening to you about the story of Jelani wearing towels because you couldn't afford Pampers. Please, will you share that story? Because I want people to understand the process. I want them to understand that there'll be good days, there'll be bad days, but it's how we handle those days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And 1994, Jelani was 8 months old, and I ran out of Pampers, and I went to the cupboard, saw I had no Pampers, so I went to the ATM, and with my ATM card to get $20 out to get some Pampers, and it said insufficient funds, $11.42. And I remember in that moment making a decision that I didn't want to call my mom, and I didn't want to call my dad, because this was my child. Right. That this was my responsibility. And I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed that I didn't have, literally, and at the time you can buy the $13 Pampers, bag of Pampers, or you can really buy like a $5.38 bag of Pampers, because they have the smaller. I couldn't afford either one, because I couldn't get $5 out, because you have to have $20 in to get $20 out. And I was just embarrassed. I couldn't scrape up the change at my house. I didn't have enough change. I'd already been through my change. And so I went home, and I had to wrap my son in a towel, a series of towels, for 2 days. And on the second day, first day I cried. I was just broken. I was embarrassed. I was watching my son lay on his back with these towels wrapped around him, and trying to take the towel off as soon as he wet it so that he wouldn't get a diaper rash. And on the second day, I started getting sick and tired of my misery, because I just cried all night. I wouldn't answer my phone. I just ate some poor dinner, and I was like, wow, this is where you are. Like, this is where you are right now. And then the second day, I looked down at Jelani, and I put my hand on his little stomach, and I said, don't worry, Jelani. Mommy will never be this broke or broken again. Wow. And so initially, Sue, I didn't pursue success. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I didn't pursue mastery. I didn't pursue being a 7-time bestseller. I didn't pursue taking my company public. I didn't pursue touching millions a year. I didn't pursue running a multi-million-dollar business. I didn't pursue any of that. I was trying to outrun broke. Let me be really, really clear. Let me be really, really clear.
Wow.
We can make this all sexy. We can make it sound amazing. And we see where I am today. But sometimes your initial motivation isn't wrapped in a red bow. Your initial motivation is wrapped in sandpaper. Sometimes you don't even know what you're pursuing. You're just getting the heck away from something.
Yes.
So all I was doing was getting as far away from $11.42 as I could. I didn't quite know what I was running toward, but anything that looked like that, I didn't want anymore. And so I knew that I had gotten myself to where I was based on what I knew. So I knew I didn't know enough. And that's why I started picking up books by foreign. If it was about money, prosperity, success, and mindset, I picked it up. Because I knew nothing about money, prosperity, success, and mindset. I knew about family, and I knew about faith.
Yes.
I didn't know about transforming my bank account, transforming my mindset, transforming my reality, transforming my lifestyle. I didn't know about that. So I don't want to read about what I know. So I'm going to be quite honest with you. For every one spiritual book I picked up, every one book on faith and affirmations and prayer, I picked up 3 books on mindset, success, and financial wellness, and how to write a budget, and all that stuff. So I just wanted to reinvent Lisa. I wanted to reinvent Jelani's mother. And I gave myself 18 years to do it. So I didn't give myself 2 years. I didn't give myself, 3 years. I gave myself 18 years. And the way I did that was, I said, by the time my son graduates from high school, he should have a life that's barely recognizable. I didn't say a little different. I said barely recognizable. So when Jelani graduated from high school, that same baby that I couldn't put Pampers on, I looked at him 6 months before he graduated. I said, son, I want to give you a rites of passage experience because we should have one. The Jewish community has one. The Latino community has one. We should have one. Yes. So I said, what do you want to do? He said, I want to cook. At this time, he knew he loved cooking. He said, I want to cook. I said, where do you want to cook? He said, all around the world. And so I sent Jelani, that same baby at 8 months, I sent him at 18 on an 88-day international culinary externship tour where he cooked in the British Virgin Islands for 34 days. Then he cooked in Tuscany for a week, Rome for a week, Venice for a week, Sicily for a week, Florence. He cooked in all these different Italian cities for a week, and then he cooked in the British Virgin Islands for 34 days. And he had the time of the life. He stayed in small, quaint Airbnbs. He had a driver to take him to each new city. I wasn't with him. I was with him the first 8 days. I wrote him a love letter that he opened every night while he was away, and he never knew where he was going to go. He would open a letter, and it would say, pack your bag, son. Tomorrow, you're going to Tuscany. And then 5 days later, he'd open a letter and it'd say, pack your bag, son. Tomorrow, you're going to cook in Florence. And I gave him this rites of passage experience.
Wow, that makes me cry.
Why? Because that's the baby that I wrapped in a towel. So he deserved to have this amazing, life-changing experience.
That makes me emotional, and I don't even know why.
You're a mama. And you're like, okay, I got 10 years.
Yes, that's exactly.
I knew what you're thinking. You should be thinking. I told you the story to make you think that.
Wow. I mean, really, while you were saying, I was like, I got 10 years. 10 years to make this happen.
And look what you can do in 10 years, girl. You know you. 10 years. Because 1, it's not a rush.
Right.
2, you're equipped. 3, you got all the resources around you that you need. You don't have to make it up. I made a lot of it up. I wasn't able to talk to any of my mentors. I wasn't able to talk to any of my sheroes and my heroes. I just read their books 100 times. So you got a lot at your fingertips. Yeah, in 10 years, you can blow his mind.
Wow. And thank you so much. Listen, I know I'm doing this interview for my audience, but this is so for me right now. I'm telling you. As I want to borrow one of your words, this is delicious right now. I'm telling you.
Yes,
I'm telling you.
Yes.
Let me ask you something. And I guess you kind of touched on it, and I know your son is a big part, but why do you feel obligated to your calling? I know your calling, well, I shouldn't say I know. I feel like a big part of your calling is to help transform the lives of others. And
yes, it is.
Why do you feel so obligated to fulfill that calling?
I actually don't feel obligated to fulfill the calling because of my son. I don't. I feel obligated to be the best human being possible to give him an example for him. But in reference to my calling, I feel committed and convicted to play full out in my calling because my gift was never given to me to keep to myself.
Yes.
My gift doesn't belong to me. My body is the tool that allows me to, that's the container for my gift. So I need to be responsible for my body because it is the vehicle that helps me get my gift to the world. My gift is my contribution to the planet. It's my job to make the dash between my birthday and my transition day as disruptive as possible. It ain't supposed to be flat. If I don't give my gift to the world, if I don't go through something, then my dash between my birthday and my transition day is just as flat as can be. I'm playing safe. I'm playing small. But the moment I start playing big, because the bigger you play, by the way, the bigger you play, the bigger your breakdowns. So for all y'all listening who think, oh my God, I'm having breakdowns, listen, if you're not having breakdowns, you're not playing big enough.
Wow.
Now, there's two types of breakdowns. There's the bigger you play breakdown, and then there's the resistance to learn breakdown. So you got to know what kind of breakdowns you're having. So I have the bigger you play breakdowns. I play big, I stretch, and so I have breakdowns. But they're in proximity to how big I'm playing.
Yes.
And so have big playing breakdowns. You're going to have breakdowns either way. You're going to have small playing breakdowns, drama-based breakdowns, or you're going to have playing big breakdowns. Choose your breakdown. But the bigger you play, the bigger your breakdowns. And so that's the disruption between your dash. And I am clear that my dash is supposed to give the world something that didn't exist prior to my birth. Because listen to this, your lifetime is finite. Your lifetime is finite. You got 85 years, 95 years, 105 years. Your lifetime is finite. We know that we're going to transition, but your legacy, Sue, is infinite. Your legacy has no timeline. So I don't live for my lifetime. I live for my legacy.
I love that, which leads me into my next question. What do you want the world to remember about you? What do you want? What is your legacy? What do you want remembered? Because you're so passionate. I mean, you're so passionate about it.
It's real passion.
Yes.
It's real passion. It's not a commercial. It's not an infomercial. It's not a marketing.
Oh, no, it's authentic.
I want my legacy to be she was willing to live in her conviction even at the sake of her convenience. So I want my legacy to say she inspired us to play bigger than our fears. She inspired us to jump with knees knocking and teeth chattering. She inspired us to love even in the face of the possibility of betrayal, to forgive the perceivingly unforgivable. She inspired us to love what we thought was the unlovable. She inspired us to do what we thought was the impossible. She inspired us to stretch beyond anything called a comfort zone. She inspired us to live in our conviction, not our convenience.
Yes, yes. Woo! Yes, yes.
Look, you might have to send that recording back to me now, because that's the first time I said it like that. So.
Woo! I love it. I love it. 5 years from now, where's Lisa Nichols? What is she doing? What other great feat has she accomplished?
Wow. So, first of all, first things first, 5 years from now, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud to somebody, but 5 years from now, I truly believe Lisa will, with everything in my heart, Lisa will be Mrs. Somebody.
Come on, somebody!
Call it and claim it. Call it and claim it.
Come on, girl.
So 5 years from now, she will stop having interviewed and she will have hired and chosen.
Come on, somebody.
Right now, she's interviewing still. 5 years from now, I will be holding and delivering powerful, impactful, sacred experiences for women leaders,
yes,
primarily. So I will have moved away from just serving everyone, the masses, to really exclusively serving leaders so that I can touch millions by touching women who touch millions. And 5 years from now, I will have a broader reach because I'll sit inside of television more. 5 years from now, the Lisa Nichols life story will have been out, or on its way out, From Welfare to Wall Street.
Yes.
I'm just saying that's a working title. 5 years from now, I will be facilitating a phenomenal experience for my mother and my father. God willing, they're still with me. I will be focused on what kind of daughter can I be in that season, and what kind of mother, adult friend and mother to my son can I be, and to his life partner, ideally, he will have. 5 years from now, I will be 2 steps or 10 steps closer to doing my ministry work. I believe that 20 years from now, I will have amassed enough financial wealth to take care of my lifestyle and never have to work again. And this is my 20-year dream, because you got to think real big, real long when you're gonna play. When you're gonna play as big as I play, you gotta walk it out 20 years. But 20 years from now, I see myself spending 6 months out of my year in third world countries with women in villages, and just sitting in small villages and inspiring the young girls, and using my friend circles to help create radical financial change, bringing water and education and clothing and health and sanitary napkins and all of the things that we don't even think about to villages and origins of the world. That's everything for them. So I see myself in 20 years. That's what I spend 50% of my time doing. I live by country, so by international.
Yes.
So I'm living in 3 different countries. 5 years from now, I'm living in 2 different countries. So I'm interviewing Barcelona right now. It's my 3rd time here in Barcelona in 1 year. So right now they're looking good. So just touching the world, broad and intimate. Broad and intimate.
I love that. Broad and intimate. You know, you're a long way from having an office in your closet. You've come a long way, Miss Lisa Nichols.
Amen.
5 years from now, I see myself helping you with your vision. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. Put it into the atmosphere.
I can hold that vision with you.
All right. I know you have something coming up here in my neck of the woods. It's about a 5-hour drive from me in Atlanta, Georgia. Would you? Oh, look at you. Share a little bit of that with us before we let you go today. Tell us about that event.
Well, what's really exciting is literally before you and I jumped on this interview, I spent the last 90 minutes prior to, or 2 hours prior to this interview, writing the curriculum.
Oh, wow.
For that very event. So talk about fresh off the press. So I am a believer that everyone has a voice and everyone has a message. Whether you're a platform speaker or not, whether you are like a Lisa Nichols or a Les Brown or a Tony Robbins or like a minister you might know, or whether you are that woman who has a story to tell, that man who has inspiration to give, and you give it one-on-one, you give it at work, you give it in your small business, that we all have a voice that's supposed to be used. We have a story that's supposed to be told. We have inspiration that we should be sharing. And so my event that's coming up in Atlanta teaches you how to master your voice, how to own your voice, how to impact others and create a tidal wave, a tsunami with your message.
Yes.
How do you inspire people for a movement, not a moment? Like, that's what you want to do. It's like, I want to inspire people for a movement, not a moment. How do you do that? How do you do that in the oral sense? And then how do you do it in the written sense? If you want to become a author, maybe an online course or an offline course or a book or a program. You want to become a speaker, or even if you don't want to become a speaker, you just want to master speaking. The event is called Speak and Write to Make Millions, and I want you to understand that Speak and Write to impact millions, thus make millions. And it's the flagship program in our company. It is the most sought after conference for speakers, authors, and coaches. Today, we've done it for 7 years straight. We used to only do it on the West Coast for the first five years, and then it grew so big, and the Midwest and the East Coast demanded that we come, demanded that we be able to get in our car and drive to you. And so this is the 3rd year that we have been on the East Coast going to Atlanta. We expect to have a packed house, standing room only. We expect to have to turn people away. We do it every year. I was told this event is a cross between an intensive workshop that teaches you life skills, written skills, and speaking skills, an intense revival that teaches you how to get out your own way, how to push past where you normally would say no, how to let the divine in you come out to serve the divine and touch the divine in others. And it's a very intense 3-day party.
Yes.
Because ain't no party like a Lisa Nichols party.
Oh, I've seen snippets.
Right. I'm serious about my parties. And so it is a fusion of how do I get the content I need to tell me what I don't know, to have me do what I haven't been doing, to have me get the life that I know I deserve.
Yes.
Tell me what I don't know, to inspire me to do the things I haven't been doing so that I can get the life I know I deserve. That's very methodical, very intentional. And then how do I serve and celebrate the God in me, the Spirit in me, the anointed part of me? How do I tap into that, move out of my own way, stop saying no when I want to say yes, and stop saying yes when I need to say no? Inspire me to do that. And then how can I hook my caboose to the train of a lot of other people who are moving and shaking at my same vibe, at my same pace? We have people coming from over 24 different countries into Atlanta to make it happen. And so, it's going to be a game-changing weekend, November 3rd through the 5th. I tell, if you are busy, move the mountain, change your schedule. I promise you, this is the place that you want to be. If you really like, okay, 2017, 2018 and beyond, that's my game-changing time. I'm ready. I've been ready. It's overdue. That's where you go for that, because I give 360 experience. I want to touch your heart, your soul, your mind, your content, your pocketbook. I want to put you in. We have an exercise that connects you with the people you need in the room. So I'm going to turn you to the other 400 people in the room to make sure you get some team before you leave. You don't leave alone. It's amazing. I simply produce what I needed.
Wow. I love it. Tell us how we can be a part of this. What's the link? We need that bad boy.
Right. Well, one of the things I'm really clear on is I knew a very long time ago that I was going to be in a position where I wanted to inspire others to really stand in their greatness and inspire others to do next level. Once I turned the corner, and I got to tell you, I didn't know I turned the corner until I was sitting next to Oprah and across from Larry King, and I literally got the memo like, I think things have changed.
Oh yeah, they have.
When I'm breaking bread with Stedman, and I'm having lunch with the Queen of Swaziland, and she's cooking for Jelani. I'm kind of going, okay, God, I think it's changed now. The first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to begin to ask, how do I make sure that I give other people access to this? How do I make sure that I give other people access to this? Because I don't want to be the only person with this information. So that's why we do the workshop. So if you go to www.speakandwrite, that's speak, SPEAK, and AND, speak and write, WRITE, workshop.com. That's speakandwriteworkshop.com. That's where you go to register. We started out with 400 seats. I think we have probably about 75 seats left, something like that. We have VIP registration. I think we have maybe a few of those left. VIP, you come a bonus day. You get a whole VIP. I just finished the VIP curriculum. It's off the chain. You get a whole extra bonus day of content. But really where the juice is you get 2 hours of just Q&A lunch with me and my coach. Only the VIPers. So you bring your burning questions and we'll bring our sizzling answers. That's that time people invest a lot to get coaching from me. The VIP group, you just get to come and just get to laser those questions. We have a VIP networking mixer. We have VIP special gift bags. We have an event in my suite just for VIPs. And so it's just a beautiful, beautiful extra VIP. We had 150 VIP seats available. I think we are somewhere around 7 seats left. And so, speakandwriteworkshop.com. And just all I recommend you do is get 8 hours sleep for 8 days before you come. No, I'm not joking. I said intensive workshop fused with a very powerful revival-like, fused with a 3-day party. I'm just saying. I'm saying eat your Wheaties, hydrate. No, come in, hydrate. I'm not joking. People think I'm joking when I say this before, and then they come and they go, "You were serious?" No, I'm serious. This ain't a race. This is a marathon. I'm coming for your breakthrough.
It's about endurance.
I'm coming for, but I'm coming for your breakthrough. So hydrate, B12, eat your Wheaties, get your sleep. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, when you put it like that, I know you're serious. This is the formula for success, guys.
I'm serious. And just think about it this way. 23 years ago, I was blessed enough to wake up. And the first thing I said was I need to change my mindset. And I began to run after content to change my mindset. So what do you think the first thing I'm going to do for you when you come? I'm going to give you a buffet of mindset. A buffet. But then I'm going to top it off with how about we get into action before, keyword, before you leave this workshop. Because I know applied learning. I told you I learn, apply. Well, I'm not sure what you're going to go home to. So how about I have you learn and apply right there in the same zone? I promise you, game changer. If you play full out in that workshop and you don't get any value in 3 days, just walk up to one of my team members and say, I didn't get my value. We will give you a full refund, no questions asked. I promise you. But you got to play full out before you do that.
Absolutely. Last 60 seconds, some motivation. Drop it for them.
Listen, some of your best motivation won't come wrapped in a gift bag. It will come wrapped in the sandpaper. It'll come wrapped in a divorce. It'll come wrapped in a betrayal. It'll come wrapped in being fired. It'll come wrapped in not having enough money. Some of your best motivation to get up and get busy and get in movement may come wrapped in the very experience you wish you didn't have. All you need to know is that it doesn't matter what knocked you down. All that matters is what's going to get you back up. That's all that matters.
I love you. Did I say that already?
I love you too. You can keep saying it. I'm going to keep receiving it. I love you too, sis.
Thank you so much for coming on the SueHams Show. Listen, everybody, go out. You want to learn more about the great Lisa Nichols? You can find her at lisanichols.com. I definitely want to see you at the event, speakandwriteworkshop.com.
Oh, let me say this.
Sure.
If they can't attend live, then go to Speak and Write Workshop and join us via live stream. So you can join us from your home, learn in your pajamas. You don't have to leave. If you cannot leave, then join us from your house. So either way, be in the room, live or live stream.
So no excuses.
No excuses.
So guess what? None. You just eliminated my excuse. So I'm there. Right. I'll see you. I'll see you there.
Right. Amen.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your experience and for your love. We appreciate you so much, Ms. Lisa Nichols.
So I appreciate this.
Awesome. In closing, everyone, you know I have to tell you to remember to live, love, learn, and laugh, man. Don't quit. Follow your dreams to success. You have just watched another episode of the SueHams Show with the great Ms. Lisa Nichols as our guest for today. All right, everybody. Enjoy your life. Rock it out, baby. I'm SueHam. Peace.
Bye-bye.